Hey, hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving break. Just a kind of quick word of warning, and I'm talking to myself as much as anybody. I know last week was nice not having to think about biology or anything like that. I enjoyed it. I didn't think about this class the first time, so I get that. But now we still have to finish the semester. It's really tempting to say, oh, wow, that was nice not to have a bunch of schoolwork to do. And then like Thanksgiving break is over, but Christmas break's coming up really soon, and you kind of get ready for that next break. We only got 2.5 weeks, but there's a lot of points and there's a lot of stuff packed in there. So just make sure you realize, okay, we're back. We got to do work for a little while, and then we can enjoy the break between semesters. So for this week, I want you to watch the chapter 20 lecture videos. This is on viruses and bacteria. So just a quick heads up, I had originally planned to re-record this lecture because it deals a lot with viruses, and that's obviously a big topic. I was going to say in the news, but like in everybody's life right now. So that originally I was wanting to kind of redo everything before I posted this. I ran out of time. I'm having to do some classes a lot differently with the hybrid semesters and a bunch of online classes, so I didn't get around to that. So having said that, you're not going to see anything about coronavirus in the viruses lecture, and that's because it literally did not exist, or this type of COVID-19 did not exist at the time that I was recording those. So I still think it'll be beneficial. We talk about RNA viruses, which COVID-19 is an RNA virus. So some of the stuff you're hearing in the news, you may be able to understand it a little bit more. You'll have a little bit more background information on that, okay? That's the first half of the chapter. The second half is bacteria, which we have talked about a good bit already earlier in the semester. So there's a lot more details, but should be a good chance to kind of, I don't think it's necessarily the toughest chapter we've done. It's just kind of discussing the characteristics of viruses and bacteria, all right? In both of those, we're going to look at some examples of viruses that can cause human illness and bacteria that can cause human illness. Note cards are a great way to study for that. I know I'm going to mention that when you watch the lecture video, but if you want to go ahead and get a pack of note cards with you, great way to study this material, all right? So watch that early in the week. Your review quiz is due Sunday, December 6th, and this review quiz is a lot different. So one of the student learning objectives that we have to cover in this class, and this is like on the instructor side paperwork stuff, but we have to cover how to identify different bacteria. So what I have done to say that we've checked that is I've made a quiz for chapter 20, which is going to be on identifying different types of bacteria, all right? We're going to talk about that in the lecture on how you can identify them. We do something called a gram stain, and that can determine if the bacteria turns purple or pink by the time we're done with that staining procedure. We're also going to talk about the shape of the bacteria, so that's going to be another thing that we discuss in there. But that's still kind of tricky, especially when we don't get to meet like in person and do a lab on this. So what I've done is I've made a bacterial identification guide. This is just a Word document you can print out. You can just have it on your computer when you're taking the quiz. That's perfectly okay. What it's going to be is like a guide that kind of walks you through how to identify different types of bacteria. So I want you to use that guide when you're taking the quiz. You have my full permission to do that. That is perfectly okay. It's a 10-point quiz, so it's a little bit more than some of the other quizzes we've had. That means it should be a really good opportunity to bump your grade up a little bit here at the end of the semester, okay? So that's going to be due this Sunday. If you have any questions on that, let me know. A couple other things. So I mentioned this in the announcement last week, but I've posted an end of semester survey, and that's just to get some feedback on how you thought this class went, how the different stuff. There's a section, so if anyone's listening to this, there's a section for additional comments. And one thing I would like, if you can just make a note and do this when you do the quiz or do the survey. I made a change this semester where I used to post the lecture videos and they were just one big lecture video. So if you had a lecture video that had 4 parts and those were 30 minutes apiece, I used to post it where it was just one big 2-hour lecture. So tell me if you liked that or not. Would you rather have like one big lecture to go through and knock it out and you're done? Or did you like the part 1 and part 2 and part 3 that were a little bit shorter? Okay. So that is due Tuesday, December 15th. That's the last day of the semester that you can turn anything in. So you've got until Tuesday to do that. And then the makeup exam is next Monday and Tuesday, December 7th and 8th. All right. I've got the information on that. But if you have missed an exam earlier in the semester, that's when you're going to take the makeup. And your grade on that makeup will take the place of the test that you missed. All right. If you have any questions on anything, let me know. The final is going to be the following Monday and Tuesday. So that is December 14th and 15th. Just if you want to go ahead and make a note of that and be studying and preparing. Chapter 20, we're covering that this week. Chapter 21 is next week. And the final is just going to be on those two chapters, 20 and 21. So it's not a ton of material. If you study really well, it should be a good chance to finish with a good grade too. All right. If you have any questions, if you need anything, let me know. Thanks.